Hello and welcome to Lockdown Economy Nepal, a local edition of a social non-profit initiative to help small businesses and self-employed professionals overcome the challenges of the pandemic. In Nepal, it is being done in collaboration with NYEF Kathmandu chapter, a membership-based non-profit organization dedicated to create outstanding entrepreneurs, and AlterContacts, a global think tank for sustainable development based in Amsterdam. My name is Suzan Lal Manandar, host of the TV series, and I'd like to welcome everyone who joined us for this session. Today, my guest is Ritesh Marwadi, who is the founder of KTM Live Entertainment. Hello, Ritesh ji, how are you?
Hi everyone, I'm good. Thank you.
Welcome to the interview series, and today we're going to talk about event management sector, which is one of the most impacted sectors during the lockdown, and it still is because still a lot of people are not gathering in crowds. So we'll talk about how the pandemic has affected your organization. But before that, Ritesh ji, could you please introduce us to your organization?
All right, yeah. Hi everyone, this is Ritesh Marwadi once again. I'm the founder and managing director of KTM Live Entertainment, one of my core businesses besides the other five ventures that we've been doing currently. And KTM Live is an event management company that focuses more on commercial events, bringing international artists, doing Nepal tours with Nepalese artists. So basically, we're focused more on nightlife based entertainment in this industry right now. Yeah.
And yesterday we're talking about the kinds of events you organize. So could you please give us an explanation about that?
Yes, sure. We've been in the business for almost 10 years now, and one of the core events that we organize is commercial events. When I mean commercial events, we're talking about bringing international artists and doing a ticketed show. We tend to bring artists that have not yet been to Nepal so far. So we create a very unique experience. Most of these kind of shows are inside a club or in a festival scale as in 5,000, 10,000 cap. And it's like a whole day event. It's mostly musical. But now, I think the last few years we've learned a lot and we've expanded ourselves into comedy shows, AGM meetings, corporate shows, corporate tournaments, Nepal tours, especially. So, yeah.
Perfect. And Ritesh ji, what is the size of your organization?
I mean, I'm the sole owner of this company right now. But besides this, I have two more employees in my company. One who handles my daily operations, and one is my designing team. They design all my event flyers and stuff like that. So we're just a short team of three people. But when we do large scale events, we definitely hire people on daily wages, weekly or monthly basis. But the core team is only three of us, out of which two of them are our employees who we've hired, and then this is there's that runs the whole place. Yeah.
Great. So now let's talk about the lockdown. And as I mentioned earlier, the event management sector is one of the most impacted sectors during the lockdown. And last year was supposed to be Visit Nepal. It was supposed to be a big year for tourism. And I would imagine that the event management sector would have been profited with that. But then, because of the pandemic, everything was postponed. What kind of problems did it bring in your organization?
Well, I mean, the pandemic hit really hard to the event management sector, especially to us as well, because keeping in mind 2020 was like a big year for the entire country. We planned a lot of shows, a lot of Nepal tours, a lot of Nepali living abroad were traveling to Nepal for the first time. A lot of international artists we planned were traveling Nepal for the first time. And I mean, it was like a full packed calendar for us. I think almost 17 to 18 shows in a span of 10 months that got cancelled. So yeah, it hit us really bad. And I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, right? But yeah, it's been really tough because we were really excited about the 2020 year being also the tourism year for Nepal, and making an impact, making a difference by being a part of it was what we wanted. We wanted to do great shows, but this was beyond our control, so we couldn't do much about it.
And since all these events got cancelled, cash flow is one of the most important things in an organization. And when all these shows are not happening, how did it impact the operations of your organization?
Oh, well, I mean, we didn't realize this coming so bad, but then I think for all the shows that we planned for the year, how it works in event management is when you're booking an artist, you definitely pay like amount 50%, almost 50% to 100% of their artist fees in advance. So most of our money got stuck abroad while sending those confirmation to the artists, and unfortunately we had to cancel or delay or postpone the shows for until further notice. But all the money that we send are still being stuck. So but we still had to refund all the artists tickets. So in one way we also had to hold the cash that we sent to the artist abroad. On the other way, we also had to pay up all the advances to the vendors here, the sound, light, stage, production. And lastly, that customers, I mean the clients who bought the tickets, we had to refund them because we could not hold them because we exactly don't know when we can, do the show again until further notice. So all three things, hit us really bad. So the cash flow was like a big challenge for us to, manage the artists, manage the vendors, and refund the customers as well at the same time.
And when you faced these issues, what kind of strategies did you implement to ease the pain during the lockdown?
Well, I mean, these are times where you're not planned before now. Now, definitely we are. But at that point of time, we had to inject more investments to the company and make sure that none of the vendors are upset. The customers are happy and they are refunded back. We're still refunding a lot of money to the customers who bought tickets. So it's an ongoing process. But I think most of the vendors are very understanding because it's just like give and take, right? The vendors cannot do a show without us, and we cannot do the show without them. So we have a sense of understanding. But somewhere in the common ground, we came to a point where we could understand and come to an agreement that okay, this is how we're going to go further. That was the immediate response that we had to go with during the lockdown that started in March for us, especially where we were doing Holi. I think we had almost 17 shows in the same day all over Nepal, and to manage almost 35, 40 vendors in that span of time where the pandemic hit the country all of a sudden, cancel all the shows, refund the money, talk to all the vendors separately. Some vendors don't agree to stuffs that you've talked about, but somehow, I mean, we managed to pull it off in a common ground.
All right. And last year, I think one of the biggest takeaways we can take from the lockdown is digitization. A lot of organization moved into the digital platform. So did you adopt similar strategies during the lockdown?
I mean, well, the first month went by just staying at home, spending some time with the family, and because you don't usually get so much of time with the family. But then, I mean, in order to keep the brand alive, the event company alive, and also be in touch with the customers, the sponsors, the clients, we did a couple of shows. We did at least two. I think, yeah, I think we did two online shows where the tickets were free for the customers. We did not charge the viewers any money, but we did two shows for one of our clients to ensure that the brand is alive. Even though we are home, we want to entertain our customers, ensure that we're just here around the corner and it will get over. The pandemic will get over. So we did two shows, and I mean, it was a different experience. Definitely, it is not as great and amazing as it is on the ground, in front of the stage. But yeah, we tried doing something. It was a good experiment for us, something we've never done before. So it was unique for us, I guess.
And we talked about this a little bit yesterday as well. A lot of organizations started doing digital events. Maybe there were product launches that were supposed to happen physically, but then they moved to the digital platform. But from an event management organization standpoint, what do you think is the difference between hosting a physical event and then hosting a virtual event?
It is totally different. I mean, it's almost like I don't know. I mean, it's just like watching a movie on the screen, rather than being a part of it on the ground itself. I mean, for example, I mean, imagine you're going to watch a concert of your favorite artist. So the vibe is different, the stage is different, people around you, there are like thousands of people around you, and you get the vibe. But when you're watching something online, even though it's a concert, I mean, the artist has limitations because it has to be mostly a solo show. Individual guy has to
Mhm,
perform. There's background. There's no stage. It's usually acoustic in terms of a band, and
mhm.
all you can do is, I mean, listen to him. It's as good as watching it on YouTube, and you also know that you can watch it later. So you might probably be brushing your teeth or doing something else, but your 100% focus is not there. And as an experience wise, I mean, of course, I mean the artist is performing online and you're listening to him, but I mean you cannot compare it with him performing live on stage and you jumping on his songs, on your favorite songs. So it's totally different. I think as an event manager, yes, we have to do shows. We had to do online shows, but
Yeah.
personally, uh, I would never want to compare it anywhere near with the live shows that we do on stage or on grounds. It's totally different.
Definitely. So now let's talk about the strategies again. Were there any strategies that you tried during the lockdown that did not work out for you?
Well, I mean, there's not much we can do in this industry, when it comes to a situation like lockdown. But yes, we did explore the idea of going online. So we did an event. It was quite successful. We had a lot of viewerships. But again, I mean, like I said, it cannot be compared with a physical event. And once we did an online event, I think a couple of few weeks later, similar sort of events started happening all around the city. The clubs started doing Facebook Live events from their terrace, from their homes, trying to connect with the customers. The brand started doing something similar with artists all around Nepal. So it started losing its value. It just started being another live event every other day, be it Sunday, Monday, Friday, Saturday, whatever. So I think it started losing its value. So we learned that very well after we did the first event, and then we stopped doing the live shows. We found different ways to connect with the crowd. We started having jigsaw puzzles, games, just to connect with the customer so that they remember the brand, they remember us. But as a show, we did not do much during this lockdown. Rather than we actually sat down, we talked with our team, started searching more in internet about things we can do once the lockdown is over. The way we can proceed further is what we were working on as a team.
All right. And now let's talk about your clients a little bit more as you've spoken there. Some people are very familiar with the brand, they're familiar with the events you organize. And then last year, when all these events were not happening, did they try to get in contact with you? And how did you interact with them? And what were your competitors doing during the lockdown?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you clearly. Please.
Okay. So I asked about your clients and your competitors. Do you know what kind of behavior they showed during the lockdown?
Oh, great. So I think the clients were really positive about the entire situation. I think in times like these, we don't have much. We cannot do much. The first is safety and security of your employees. So everyone's staying at home. But when we pitched the idea to our clients about how about we do something online, keep the brand alive, and keep interacting with the customers, they were pretty much positive. I mean, of course, each client wants their show to be unique. So we tried different ideas of how we can attract more people. So we did an online event, and the clients were really happy. I mean, talking about competitors in this field, I think firstly there are very few event organizers, and secondly, I think they are not competitors at all. I think they are our friends, where we support each other a lot because very few companies are there who take this as their core business. And it was actually there were times where we called each other and then we were having a conversation about, what can we do during this time. And if I was going on with a live event for my client, I think all the other event organizers, all the other event companies were supporting us by being a part of it, by promoting it, by supporting it. So I think both clients and our competitors were positive and supportive about whatever we were doing, and were also very respective of the condition that we were all going through.
Great. And lockdown was truly a time where local businesses should support each other, and I'm really happy to hear that you were able to collaborate with your competitors and work together during the lockdown. So now let's talk about the lockdown period which we are in right now. The number of COVID cases have gone down, the vaccines have entered the country, but of course, events with large crowds are still not happening. So what are you working on in your organization right now?
Even though the lockdown was like open or semi-open since September, we've still not had this approval from the government side about hosting bigger shows because of mass gathering and stuff like that. And we do understand it and we do respect it, but I think in the last few days we've been hearing and watching and reading in the news that less than 100 cases are there in Kathmandu itself, in the city. The clubs are opening till 12 o'clock right now. People are coming out. Entertainment is important. It's not just a luxury that you go to a club and you're popping champagnes and stuff like that. We all understand the safety security concerns. The club does, the organizers do. So we're trying to work out that once we get a green signal from the government, from the respective venues where we organize such shows, how do we proceed further? What will be the safety and security measures if we're doing a large scale show for 1,000 or above people? And how do we take it in a positive note? What is the distance we need to maintain? What kind of stage do we do? Where can we organize it so we can host a bigger space, so the crowd does not get compact and connect with each other or touch each other. So we're working on those ideas, especially about countries that have opened up for travel. Which artists can we bring from which country? So we are right now working on those ideas to make it feasible. And at the same time, I think it's a great and excellent opportunity for us also to promote our local artists. The clubs as well. I think I see a lot of posters around the social media where clubs and restaurants are actually promoting a lot of local artists. So this helps the artists to also uplift, their talent, show their talent in front of the local people here. I think it's really nice. Earlier we used to have this idea where a lot of clubs used to bring a lot of foreign artists and promote them and get in the crowd. But I think now what is happening is a lot of local artists are being promoted. So we are also looking on those lines, to first promote our local talent and then take it further. But I think eventually we want to take Nepal to the world as well. So having some international artists perform in Nepal also takes our name globally. So now we're
Yes.
just trying to find ideas where what artists can we bring, how and where we can do things once the pandemic is over and once the government allows us to do shows.
Great. I think yesterday we had also talked about how event management can really help a country, be pinpoint on the map, and definitely events that you organize can help us do that because you can make Nepal visible to the international market. And as you said earlier, this time definitely there were a few opportunities recognized, and people like local talents, they were able to come forward. But now let's talk about the future, and we'll talk about the near future. Riteshji, what is the outlook for your organization for the next 3 months?
Well, we have been in touch with the government, the local officials, the CDO, and we've been trying to get updates about when can we start doing the shows. And I think they're very positive about the problem the event management company, the nightlife industry is going through right now. Their first phase was about approving the clubs to open up with all security and safety protocols. And we are hoping, I think, according to the CTO, we are hoping that they will give us approval in the next few weeks to let us organize, a limited capacity event. I think probably 1,000 to 1,500 capacity shows for an upcoming, festival, Holi. I think that's the nearest right now. So we're hopeful that they will give us approval with proper guidelines as to if we are to organize shows, how can we do it, where can we do it, what is the protocol, because we have to follow the government with whatever the ideas they float. So in the next few weeks we should get approval, and once we do, we've already started working on our side as to where and how and when can we host outdoor shows for the public. But our target is Holi festival right now, and after is the Nepalese New Year's.
Mhm. I really hope that the future is a positive one, and this new year, a lot of people are hoping for positive things, something better than 2020, and I really hope that we are on track for that. And this has been a very insightful conversation. Now, I'd like to move on to my final question, Riteshji. What are the three things in your business that you need help with?
Uh, wow, this is an interesting one. I hope it reaches the right people. I think, like I just said, I think first and foremost, the most important thing for the nightlife industry is for any outdoor shows or indoor shows by an event company is proper guidelines from the government side as to when we can organize, when we can start organizing shows, when we can do this kind of events, organize these kind of events. Without proper guidelines from the government, we will not be able to, take this further or make it a success. Second is, I think, if the government allows all international flights to, fly directly to Nepal right now, as you see, there are very limited flights that have been allowed. I think there are not many airlines that are flying directly to Nepal for tourist purpose. I mean, the flights will help us bring international artists to Nepal, because in different parts of the country, especially like Thailand, India, for example, have already started organizing shows, putting up good big events. I think India is also hosting a festival in Goa, hosted one recently. So yeah, we need proper flight access for international artists to come Nepal. And thirdly, and most importantly, I mean, with or without the pandemic, we want, once we get the approvals from the artists, once we get the approval from the government, and when we plan to host the show, we want the viewers, the customers to come and purchase the tickets and support us. Because I think Nepal has this trend of trying to enter for free, getting free passes and stuff like that. But the pandemic has hit us really hard. I think it's been almost a year now that we've been in zero business. So whenever we start organizing these shows, I would request all the viewers right now and people who will watch this later to support us by buying tickets, by supporting the show, and by coming to it. I mean, of course, you will have your safety taken care of, but do purchase the tickets and support us, because for this is for your own entertainment. For us, event is a passion. We want to deliver you a good experience, and to fulfill that experience, to give the best of what we can, what we were capable of. We need our customers to support us by buying tickets, by spending at the bar, maybe at the food, by supporting the artists they like to listen live in concerts. So yeah, I think these are the three important things: the government, the airlines, and the customer support.
Wonderful, and I hope that this interview itself is helpful to you to accomplish those things. Now, again, Riteshji, thank you for coming on this interview series and sharing your insights. Before we sign off, would you like to say anything to our audience?
Uh, well, not much. Thank you so much for hearing me out. If you're watching me, thank you so much. And if you're interested to ask me any questions, please feel free to mail me in the given address. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sujan. Thank you, NYEF KTM, for having me in your show. It was quite an interesting talk to be able to express something in the nightlife industry field. I think this is the first that you've got in this series. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Ritesh, and thank you to everyone who joined us for this session. If you have any questions for Ritesh, you can find his contact in the description, or you can leave a comment in this video. I invite you to like this video, share with your friends, and follow our page, the NYF Kathmandu Chatter Facebook page. A recording of this video will be present in the AlterContacts YouTube channel, so please subscribe to our channel. There are various videos of entrepreneurs and small business owners from different parts of the world that share their insights. We have another interview coming this Friday, so stay tuned for that, and goodbye.